What's up, guys? This is a very special I Hustle podcast. We are obviously doing things from two different areas, but I am very excited to introduce my guest. Man, he is a legend. And if you know Chef 24/7, there's three things I like. I love God and my wife. Of course, I love food and making people laugh, but I love professional wrestling.
Oh
Oh my
snap!
goodness.
Oh
If you
snap!
know me, you know I love it. And I am honored today to be interviewing a ECW original. Now, I know y'all know the Dudley Boys, but if you knew the Dudley Boys and if you are a true Dudley Boy fan, then you know who this man is on the other side of this screen. The one and only, I'm calling him Mr. B. I don't want to mess up that last name because he might hit me with a barbed wire bat. But Mr. Chubby Dudley, what's happening, my brother?
Chef, what's up, my dude? I
Man,
appreciate you, bro. I appreciate.
thank you.
And
Thank you.
Dudley's a lot easier to approach than Ragni.
Okay. Yeah, because I was like, I don't want to misspell the name. Man. So you are, of course, a former, or are you still wrestling, by the way?
No, come on,
Okay, so
yo, look, hey, I'm 55 years old. I got a lot of. They're technically white. I just started, and I don't know if I should take this as an insult or not, but the girl that does my hair and all, she said to me a month ago, she said, we should start dyeing your beard. And I was like, you think? I used to do it myself like 10 years ago. But I was like, all right, let's touch base. Let's do it again. So here I am. Just a little, subtle.
well, man, Mr. Bay, you are a former professional wrestler. Wrestled for several companies, of course, well known in ECW. One of the original sparks that sparked who the Dudley Boys became, and of course, you are an artist in a hardcore wrestling style. So let's talk a little bit about your origin, Mr. Bay. Where you're from, and how did you even get in the wacky world of pro wrestling?
um, so my family's originally from South Philly, Italians. Um, my parents moved out of South Philly in like the 50s. This is really showing my gray hairs and all. They moved out to Upper Darby in Delco in the 50s and bought a house. And so I was born and raised in Upper Darby and lived there till 27, and then got married and moved out to the Glen Mills area. Lived in Glen Mills till I was 49. Got divorced and moved to Nashville 6 years ago, which leads me to 55. And the way I got into the crazy, crazy business of professional wrestling was when I was 10 years old, my uncle, that I would go and spend like once every few months with my aunt, uncle, and cousin in South Philly, go spend a weekend with. He was a crazed, insane, true professional wrestling fan. And me and my cousin, who was 2 years younger than me, we'd be like out in the kitchen, like reading comic books and drawing superheroes and playing Atari. And I would hear my uncle out in the living room screaming from the, you might recognize this word, the parlor. You know, I would hear my uncle from the parlor hollering at the TV, and I was like, what is this guy doing? And finally, like, I got brave enough to venture out to the parlor, and he's hollering at the TV at Tommy Wildfire Rich and the Moondogs and all these crazy guys on Georgia Championship Wrestling at 6:05, which me and my mom, my father died when I was 4, and my mom could not afford cable TV. So right. I never had cable until I moved in with my sister after my mom died later in life. And I got exposed to this whole different world of wrestling. And I was like, what is this? And it just kind of like hooked on to me and became a love and passion of mine. And growing up, I fell more in love with it through my teenage years. But it, like, about 15, 16 years old, like at that point in the 80s of like the hair bands where I was like growing my hair and playing guitar, I was like, oh, I'm going to be a rock star. I want to be a rock star, yo. I had no talent as a musician. I was just like, oh, I can tease my hair pretty high. I can wear nail polish and I can do all this stuff. But I was like 300 pounds. So I looked ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like you didn't see you didn't see fat rock stars. You still, it's a rarity. Like Jelly Roll was the epitome of the fat rock star, and he got the surgery, and now he's a skinny rock star. So
make you laugh. When I
yeah.
was in high school, a couple of friends of mine, we were all big heavyset guys, but they can really sing and I can kind of sing. And we were going to start a plus size male singing group.
Yo, I hung out with all fat guys, and we were going to start a band called the Fat Bastards in Spandex.
Oh damn, I like that.
Just like that, because it was like you didn't see heavy guys in the music world, but you know, all the heavy guys probably had all the talent, but even though we might be pretty, people wouldn't accept us. That was the problem.
True.
So pro wrestling was my backup plan. It wasn't like going to my going to college was going to wrestling school. So in 1990, at 20 years old, I was like, wow, like I don't see a future in the music business for me. Right. I saw it more in pro wrestling. So I sold all my guitars, I sold all my music equipment, all my amps and everything, and got my down payment together to go to wrestling school. And that's where I hooked on with Joe Goodhart and the Tri-State Wrestling Lines.
Cool.
And you look much, much better with the light on now.
The camera, I mean, the computer finally decided it wanted to act right. So I'm recording from on my phone right now, but hey, it works. Funny story now, just sharing my love as a fan. And you told me a story, and it kind of connects to my own. So my dad died when I was 5. But the reason why I love wrestling is because my dad wasn't the biggest football fan. He was not a basketball fan. He loved baseball, but see, when wrestling came on, God bless Roddy Piper's soul, he used to cut off the TV when Roddy Piper came out. That's how he was passionate. Like, I would say a deranged fan. And one thing is coffee and wrestling. He from innocence, here, drink some coffee, watch some wrestling with me. And it never left. And I don't have kids of my own, but when my nephews came around, we will watch wrestling. Like, we put pillows all over the floor. Of course, you're not supposed to do this at home, but I study like some of the safe holds and taught them that. Like, I love it. And I love anybody who had a chance to step and do those type of things. Like, I can make you laugh on some stories. My uncle got kicked out of a dome in Louisiana back in the day when Jim Cornette used to come through, and Jim Cornette had a tennis racket. My uncle bet my mom that he could take Jim Cornette's tennis racket and hit him with it.
Oh, no. Come on.
They kicked him out the arena. When he was alive, he was like, I almost had him, Neff. I almost had it. So as you see, our love and our fandom for wrestling, it's not just me, my family, we love it. And like I said, you got to be a part of some magical stuff.
I just did a video the other day. I've been blessed, man. Can I curse?
Yeah, of course.
I've been fucking blessed because 30 years ago, the Dudley gimmick started. And I just happened to look like a Dudley. Okay. The original 3 Dudleys were Dudley, Big Dick, and Little Snot. By some crazy happenings of the universe and God, Little Snot Dudley got into a car accident and was seriously injured and was out of action. So they needed somebody to take his place. Stevie Richards, who had just got in and was under the whole Raven thing, and was starting to gain some traction. It was funny because I was starting to watch ECW again at that point, and I seen the Dudley gimmick, and I was like, oh shit, I look like a Dudley. A couple days later, Richards calls me up, and I went to wrestling school with Stevie Richards. So we were tight, and we knew each other. He calls me up, he's like, yo, we got this new gimmick, the Dudleys, and I think you are perfect for it. Are you interested? I was like, fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Get me back in. He's like, this weekend, come to the hotel, come in, I'll introduce you to Paul, and we'll see what happens. I'm like, all right. And at the time, the home base of all Philadelphia wrestling, for whether you were ECW, whether you were WWF at the time, or NWA, WCW, was the Philadelphia Airport Marriott. That's where everybody stayed at. That's where all the parties were. That's where everything happened. That's where the magic happened. That's where Ric Flair ran through them hallways naked for over a decade. So I go there, and me and Richards are in the lobby. Everybody's there. And I'm talking to Richards in the lobby, and Paulie walks in, and Paul immediately says, oh shit, another Dudley. At that point, I'm like, I'm in. So he says, Steve says, yo, this is the guy I was telling you about. And he says to me, do you have a tie-dye? I said, no, I hate tie-dye. He said, go buy a tie-dye. He says, what do you want your gimmick to be? And I always wanted to be like gorgeous Jimmy Garvin. I wanted a pretty boy gimmick. So I said, I want to be Studley Dudley and like fluff my hair and all that. He's like, fuck no, not going to work, not going to happen. You're Chubby Dudley. Come back next week, bring a tie-dye, bring food, and you're in. I'm like, okay. And that's how it happened. There was no big tryout. There was no big interview. That's it. That's how it happened.
Good morning, church. This is Pastor Longwinded. Get the name right. Pastor out of them pockets. Missionary Baptist Church. Well, despite the government may be shut down, we still need you to put down in your tithes and offerings. Amen. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on, church. Sometimes it got me kind of bewildered because these are some crazy times. And it got me wanting to ask the question. Come on now. Is watching me. I want you to look at your neighbor and ask him, who's watching me? Who's watching me? Look at your other neighbor and ask him, who's watching me? Who's watching me? Well, I want y'all to turn to the book of Rockwell, chapter 1 and verse 1, because that's all the book of Rockwell that we have. And we're going to start off at the 15th verse. We're going to skip. Come on, let's go. It says, who's watching me? Who's watching me? Who's watching me? I don't know anymore. Are the neighbors watching me? Say, who's better preach? Come on now. Well, is it the mailman watching me? You better preach. And I don't feel safe anymore. Come on now. Oh, what a mess. What a mess. I wonder who's watching me now. Who's watching you? The IRS. The IRS would be watching us. But the government shut down, so I guess y'all need to still put down. So hurry up and get some of that tax-free money. Brother D can get the clutch plate around. I think you need help, buddy. I got a friend that's a CNA. I'm watching.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, one of my goals is honestly, if I ever am able and blessed to be in the wrestling world, I would like to be a manager. Like, I feel like I do good mouthpiece work, and I'm a part of this community of group of people that call themselves promo artists that mimic the promo style of wrestling, and we go at it every week. And
it's an art.
Yes.
You already said it. It's an art. If you know how to properly, and you can watch WWE, you can watch AEW, you can watch any product. It's an art, and not everybody knows that art.
That's true. That is true. Because you get the connection, and some people don't connect. So I'm gonna ask on that question. I know that you're retired, but there have been times where obviously people have to connect with the gimmicks you've portrayed, the characters you've been, and there's been times when you disconnected. How are you able to deal when they disconnected from you?
That's a great question, because, okay, and here's why I say it's a great connection. All right, in 2002, I went into promotions. I went into the booking and promoting end of the wrestling business. And from like when I left ECW in 96, I took a little sabbatical. But in about 98, 99, I started really diving in headfirst into the world of promotions and was trying to follow that route. Because that's where in ECW, I really learned from watching Paul. That's what I wanted to do. That's where I felt my happiest and felt I could contribute the most to this business, was in creations, booking, maybe not promotions as much, but that's where I went. So I had my own promotion I was dabbling with, and ECW and Paul and Todd knew this at the time. At that point, I decided to go in head first with it. And I started running monthly shows, and then by 2001, I was running every other week. And 2002, I started running 3 times a week, which ended up putting me out of business. But my goal was to be promoter, booker, storyteller, etc., etc. After I left the business in 2002, I tried to shut the wrestling world off. Shut Chubby Dudley off, shut Bay Ragni. Anything to do with wrestling, my Hell Rider, Easy Rider gimmick, any gimmick I had in the wrestling business, anything I had to do with wrestling, I shut it off. And just, I had to like close the door and shut down and not be exposed to anything of the wrestling business. I didn't watch wrestling for over 20 years. I didn't want to know nothing about the business. Because the business is like the mafia. It really is. Because when you're in, and you can't get out. So about 3-4 years ago, I've been doing podcasting for 13, 14 years now. Mainly like we're doing now, interview podcast throughout the entertainment business, whether it's music, wrestling, TV, movies, etc. Anything to do, anybody that sparks an interest in me, I would interview. So I shut that off because I didn't want to like say, oh, hey, I'm Chubby Dudley and, give me a shot. I was trying to do on my own name. But a few years ago, a friend of mine who I made in the music business from interviewing him, he calls me up. He sent me a text. It was like 1:00 in the morning. He's like, yo, are you up? I'm like, yeah. Because I keep like at that point I was keeping vampire hours. I'm like, yeah. He's like, can I call you? I'm like, yeah. So he calls me. He's like, dude, I just got home from an acoustic gig. I've been laying in bed for 2 hours and I'm watching old ECW. And I'm saying to myself, what if Bay, aka Chubby Dudley, did a reaction YouTube channel about ECW? He's like, go back and watch the history of ECW unfold and talk about A, what your thoughts are, B, what you know about what happened behind the scenes, et cetera, et cetera. He goes, he said, just be you and shoot and tell it how it is. I was like, that's fucking brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I'm like, okay. So I started working on it, putting it all together. It took me like 2-3 weeks, launched it. Started going. All of a sudden, one of the first people to reach out to me was Todd Gordon, who I hadn't talked to in 20 plus years. Reconnected a friendship there, and other people started reaching out to me. And all of a sudden, people were like interested in Chubby Dudley again. It grew a whole interest in Chubby Dudley. And then people are like, hey, can I have you on my podcast? Hey, are you available for this convention? Hey, are you available for this show?
That's a blessing.
Exactly. It grew. It totally grew. And at this stage of the game in 2025, 30 years later from the birth of Chubby Dudley, I'm way more popular than ever. And 3 weeks ago, or what was it, a week ago, the Dudleys had their final retirement match with TNA, with the Hard.
I saw that.
What people don't know, I dropped the bomb last week on a podcast. I was contacted 3 weeks prior to that from Sign Guy Dudley, who is involved somehow behind the scenes with TNA. And he says, hey, do you have the contact information for Dances with Dudley and Dudley? I said, absolutely. He said, can I have them? I said, absolutely. I said, what's going on? He said, give me the contact and I will send you a text in a day or two. I said, okay. Me and Lou, a.k.a. Sign Guy Dudley, he's one of the only people in ECW who I have been in contact with in the last 30 years. He's one truly, him and Blue Meanie and Joel Gertney are the three from ECW I've truly been in contact with on a pretty consistent basis over the last 30 years.
That's what's up.
So I said, sure. So I gave him the info. A couple days later, I get the text, group text. And well, he texted me beforehand and said, hey, just to give you a heads up, the text for Dudley, the phone number does not work anymore. I said, well, that's what I got. So he sends a text to me and Dances, and it was an invite and question, are we available for the night of October 12th to be in Boston for the final match against the Hardys? It's not 100%. Bubba's working on something, but are we available? I was like, hell yeah. Abso-fucking-lutely. I'm there. You tell me, I'm there. And he said, and Dances also says same thing. I'm available. Didn't hear nothing else. So when I watched it unfold, what happened and the whole goodbye and retirement and all, it was done perfectly. We were not needed. Spike came out. I felt it was a great touch adding Spike because Spike was truly there a lot more than myself and Dances with Dudley and Sign Guy. So it was done properly. They didn't need us to be there. But just the fact that they reached out to consider us meant the absolute world to me. Absolute world.
I completely understand that. I definitely want to say, first of all, and just me being humble as a fan, thank you. Y'all guys put a lot, y'all give a lot, y'all been through a lot, and y'all don't always get y'all flowers. So I just want to say thank you for what you helped influence, what you've helped create. You know what I'm saying? It might have been 3 other guys, but when all of y'all joined in and the rest of them, y'all created something magical. And the thing that's so crazy, when you research history, they may look at Devon or they may look at Bubba, but you look deep into history, you find you guys. You know what I'm saying? How it really started. And I used to always be amazed because ECW didn't really have a lot of factions. And y'all were one of the few successful factions out of that company.
Yeah.
And that's an amazing feat. So I definitely appreciate. So I know I ain't got too much time left, but I want to ask you at least one or two fun questions and just let you share some philosophy with my people.
Sure.
So, fun question. Give me one of your funniest wrestling stories. It could be on the road, it could be before a match, it could be after a match.
Two quick stories. One, both stories, believe it or not, are not ECW. I was involved with the NWA New Jersey with Dennis Carluzzo as well. And
Okay.
I was going to a show with those guys, and anybody that knows who knew who Dennis Carluzzo was, he had his cronies, and his right-hand man at the time for many years was Gino Moore. And Gino was like his taxi driver. Gino had this conversion van, and they would throw a bunch of guys in the van and they would head to a fucking show. I ended up in this van one weekend, and it was me, my buddy Frank Cody, Harley Lewis, Derek Domino, and the Iron Sheik.
My boy.
Right? Sheiky, baby. Us four knuckleheads are in the back the whole time, all weekend, just pounding beers, drinking, pounding. And Sheiky's just sitting there, and we had there was a TV for the back for us to watch, and we're watching. I don't even remember. We're watching wrestling. That's all I remember. And Sheiky, I can still picture his face like it was yesterday. He would just sit there in his seat and look over at us and just smile. Can I have another beer? Like a little kid. Can I have another beer? And we'd give him a beer. Thank you. And he would drink. And we drank like 2 cases on a 2-hour ride. We're like pounding beers like animals. But before we got to the building, like, I don't know, whoever it was like, oh, I gotta pee. Yo, we gotta pull over. I gotta pee. Well, next thing you know, all of us are outside on the New Jersey Turnpike on the side of the road peeing. Like, it was a line of us. It was like all 6 or 7 of us on the side of the turnpike with the Iron Sheik. And we're all like this, and people are driving by beeping and waving, and Sheiky's waving everybody. I'll never forget it. It was like yesterday it happened. It was hysterical.
So I have 2 dogs, and one of my dogs is named Sheiky. And that's his nickname. When I call him, I be Sheiky, baby, you come to Bubba. Oh, man, I've never personally met him, but that's one of the wrestlers I would have loved to meet, just to have a conversation. Like, you knew underneath all of the Iron Sheikness, there's a human being in there. But when you see him, even the interviews I saw, it's like he was Sheik.
Instantly.
Instantly.
Absolutely.
Man.
Damn money, get not. Ooh. Got a tune for this. And it better not a tune with my stash. And I'm trying to get out of here so I can. What's happening, y'all? It's your boy DJ Neck Fat, live at the basement of the I Hustle Podcast. And you already know I'm about to bring y'all the hit of the week. Y'all gonna love this one here, and it's near and dear to my heart right now because somebody's around the office talking about what all the DJ Neck Fat snack cakes are, and I love my snack cakes there on my personal. You get what I'm saying?
For my people on that EBT breakdown. I don't have anything but $10 on the Snap benefits card. Talking about a shutdown. Well, I'm about to come see y'all. You don't know how I really feel. feel. But I'm about ready to steal. But I'm about ready to steal. Really, y'all don't play with me too much. How would you like if I pull up, show up, lay out, good night, click, click. Clocked at the end of your TikTok. Messing with my snaps made me want set some traps for the snacks because we need. And apparently the government don't feel. Having a buffet, eating good. Don't understand how I step into your hood. Pulling out gas, food in the bag, ho. My house use real sugar, don't fool with sweet and low. Getting it out the mud, shout out to Cleo, in case you don't know. Pulling up to the house like Queen Latifah, set it off. Gang, gang, gang. I don't have anything but $10 on the SNAP benefits card. Talking about a shutdown. Well, I'm about to come see y'all. You don't know how I really feel. But I'm about ready to steal. Stop playing with me. Put them things on my card. Before I start selling birds like my name Rick Ross. Rick James made me slap a trick, man. Playing with my EBT, Mike Tyson now. Bite they ass, don't give me my 7. You can pass, having me hungry one more time, and that'll be your last. Act crazy like Davey, moving like gravy, drunk like Grady, no gas on the Mercedes. Trying to keep my cool while I call my card.
Count 'em all $0.
I don't have anything but $10 on the SNAP benefits card. Talking about a shutdown. Well, I'm about to come see y'all. You don't know how I really feel. But I'm about ready to steal. Freaky little press, stopping on my snap. Freaky little press, holding my snap. Crack, 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 where all the snap. Freaky little press, run out by snap. Freaky little press, I get run on by snap. Crack, 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 get my shit back. Crack, 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 get my shit back. Crack, 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 get my shit back. I don't crack, 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 get my shit back. Crack, 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 get my shit back. I don't have anything but tick, 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 talking about a shutdown. Talking about a shutdown. I'm about to come see y'all. You don't know how I really feel. I'm about ready to steal. I'm about ready to steal. I'm about ready to steal.
And the other one was NWA New Jersey. Dennis used to run Yardville, New Jersey. He had a building, I think it was called Imaginations in Yardville, New Jersey, that he used to run every month. And Dennis was tied in with Dan Severn, Dan the Beast Severn, right at the very, very beginning of UFC.
Oh.
So, and Dan was known for being a UFC guy, shoot fighter, etc. But Dan was the most timid human being you would ever meet in your life. Like the most beautiful human being, most quiet, reserved person, but probably the most badass human walking the earth at this point in the mid 90s. Well, there was at the time there was a kid coming up in the rookie scene throughout the Philly area, Billy Real. And those who know Billy Real, I'm the first to admit, and I've known this, and I've admitted this to Billy. And sadly, Billy has passed on a couple years ago. Billy passed away. Billy was just, in my eyes, was just never a good person. He always had issues, etc., etc. Always believed his own hype. Always was trying to put himself over. Always was trying to be the best and thought he was the best. Believed his own hype. So we decided we were going to rib him and bring him down to earth. And we told him that he was working Dan Severn that night for the NWA World Championship, and he was going over. What we also told him was Dan was not happy about the situation. Dan was very upset to be dropping the belt. So Dan came walking in, throwing chairs, throwing the belt, hollering and screaming, total opposite of what Dan Severn would be, and just extremely pissed off. Well, Billy saw this and was literally like shaking and quivering. He probably shit his pants. In all not exaggeration, he probably, and I don't blame him. because
I understand.
Dan Severn was, I'm telling you, he was like the sweetest person you'd ever talk to. And Dan played it up to the T, to where finally Dan says, "Do you want to talk about our match?" And Billy was like, And then Dan grabbed him by the throat and threw him against the wall. He's like, "I'm going to fucking beat your ass." And you literally saw Billy like slime just slide down the wall. I'm telling you, he literally slid down the wall. And then Dan busted up laughing. He couldn't hold it no more. And then Billy was like, "What?" And then when we dropped the bomb, Billy literally ran out of the building. He couldn't he was dying. He thought he was dead.
Damn.
It was one of the funniest things I ever saw.
I'm not gonna lie. If you'd have put me next to New Jack, I might have had to run away myself.
New Jack would have cut a motherfucker. He would have thought twice about it. I love, yo. All right, you got time for one more? I'll tell you one more.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
In the ECW days with New Jack, in the infamous world of the infamous Travel Lodge, the Cylinder of Sin. If those walls could talk, yo. So after we used to stay there every weekend. After the arena shows, especially, that's when the big parties would happen. Okay, so the hotel would be completely sold out. There'd be hundreds of people there, and it was like basically the whole locker room, the fans, and we used to film the promos in there. It was just party central. So I was in a room with a girl, and I hear all this commotion in the room next to me. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, it was like over the I'm like, what the fuck? So I like come out of the room, and New Jack's out there balls ass naked, screaming like a lunatic. And there's me, New Jack, and Mustafa, and a couple girls. And he's like, "Mustafa, that motherfucker came in my room. He tried to steal my shit. He tried to break in my room." I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this is over my pay grade. Like, what is going on? And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this guy comes running into us. And New Jack's like, "That's him." And bang! And drops the fucking dude. Just whacks him and drops the dude. I'm like,
oh shit.
I'm like, what is going on here? And the dude gets up and he's like stumbling around, and he's like looking at me, New Jack, and Mustafa, and he runs. I'm like, and New Jack's like, "That motherfucker, I'm gonna kill that motherfucker." I'm like, I'm still like, I don't know what is going on here. But what I realized very quickly is the Travel Lodge, the reason it's called the Cylinder of Sin, it's a circle. So the dude ran this way. Well, he didn't realize he's running in a circle.
And so he ran right back.
He ran right back into us.
Ooh.
All of a sudden, here he comes again. New Jack's like, bang!
Wow.
Drops him again. Dude's like scrambled, like, what the hell's going on? Gets up, scurries, and runs. Don't you know? He ran back all the way around for his life, because where our rooms was where the elevator was and where the stairwell was. He had no escape.
Ooh. And every time you gonna get popped in the mouth.
So he runs back to us. New Jack grabs him again, drops him again. This time he's like, oh no. Saw the door for the stairs and ran. So he runs down the stairs. New Jack goes and grabs his freaking clothes. We get in the elevator and we go downstairs to tell the front desk. So by the time that idiot ran down the steps and by the time we got down there, he's now coming out of the stairwell. And so New Jack grabs him and he's got him in front of the freaking front desk and he's beating on this guy. And me and Mustafa are trying to pull him off. And we're like, this is the guy. This is the guy. He broke into his room. And the dude ran out of the freaking hotel for his life. But it was the craziest thing I ever saw in my life. It was like watching a Roadrunner and Coyote cartoon.
My wife watched the Beyond the Ring, Dark Side of the Ring, and she watched that the episode with New Jack, and she's like, "Yeah, he would have stabbed a motherfucker."
Oh yeah,
you could tell.
He wouldn't have thought
you leave
twice.
a lot of let alone.
He wouldn't have thought. And you know what? People always ask me like, "Oh, how was New Jack? How was New Jack?" And that was the moment. I always said that was the moment that I gained respect with New Jack because I had his back. I was there for him and had his back. And he always, like, he had problems with dances with Dudley. He had problems with this person and that person, etc. And I ran into New Jack at conventions over the years. And I did 10 years after I closed shop of Liberty All-Star Wrestling, my old promotion. I did a reunion at, of all places, my favorite spot at the time was Hooters. I did a reunion at Hooters. And who came walking in? Fucking New Jack. You know what I mean? Like, because he respected me.
Nah, for real.
If he didn't respect me, he would have said, fuck that guy. But because I truly believe, and I never asked him, but I truly believe, I totally think that's the reason, is because that night I had his back and I was there for him.
I'm going to be real with you. I grew up in the streets. That's exactly what it is.
Exactly.
Like when you traveling or you somewhere with somebody and y'all coming from the same thing and something go down, just like if something happened to you and you somebody who I'm rolling with, gotta protect you, and that's the same. Yeah. That's the rule of law, most definitely. So,
and that was that was the not only the business but especially ECW. At the end of the day, we were family. Brothers, sisters, doesn't matter fucking color or anything like that fucking stupid bullshit. We were family. And, you know, when I think of them, like, I want to fucking cry because every one of them, I fucking have such love and respect for. I was blessed. Fucking blessed. Blessed.
Man. So, look, before I go, I always ask people to tell them how they can find you, and I want you to share just a little wisdom about anything you feel that's important. So I'm gonna turn the floor over to you one more time. Share your wisdom, man, and tell them how they can find you.
Best way to find me is Chubby Dudley Official on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. And I share this every day on my Facebook. And I've been through some shit. I've been through a lot of shit in life. And I know there's a lot of people out there been through a lot worse shit. But it don't matter how much shit you've been through. It's always going to be a great fucking day. At the end of the day, it's going to be a great fucking day. Have some love, respect, and gratitude. Great fucking day.
That. Well, man, Mr. Bay, once again, thank you so much.
Thank you, Chef.
You done made a fan dream come true. I got to talk to an ECW legend. I'm telling you, we wasn't supposed to be doing this at home. We had pillows.
Made it happen.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Y'all make sure y'all follow Mr. Bay, aka Chubby Dudley. He has a podcast of his own.
I just realized I have the disclaimer on the bottom from my WWE disclaimer, and he'll be laughing. I do this all the time. I forget it's down there. Johnny Hotbody. all Johnny, he's not even here. But trust me, if he was here, anything he says, it's his opinions alone, not mine. It's all his.
Man, thank you, man. Appreciate you guys. Y'all continue to keep liking and subscribing. Y'all make sure y'all follow the legend himself, Mr. Chubby Dudley.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? And I'll see y'all next time. Until next time, God bless the cook. Have mercy on the dishwasher. Peace.
And feed me.
My mama used to say that for Thanksgiving, and I used to laugh because she said something my grandpa used to say, but I realized she was the cook and I was the dishwasher. So that became my catchphrase. You never forget that not only am I the chef, but I'm also the dishwasher. What's up, creative people? I am in my vault right now, finishing wrapping up this episode. I will be taking a few weeks off. We will be back in December for the last, we on episode 3 episodes, because this episode technically counts as 2. But we'll have the last 3 episodes to wrap up this season. My goal is to wrap it up by the end of the year, and then we could talk other content. I have other content that need to be worked on. I'm now making the time. We're going to get it done. I will see y'all in December for the rest of the season of the I Hustle podcast. I hope y'all enjoy. We got a few more interviews in store. You gonna love it. See you later. Peace.